Hello everybody and welcome. Today we're going to be playing day 3 of You Make This House a Home. And before we get into this video, I just want to talk for a second, okay? I just want to apologise for not uploading for like 2 weeks. Basically, after I had uploaded my latest video, which was Survive Min, I believe, I was so ill. I was very ill. I literally could not get out of my bed. I was so ill. And then as soon as I recovered, I only had like 2 days before we went off on holiday for a week. I literally got back today. So that's why I haven't uploaded in 2 weeks. I don't want it to look like I've just like abandoned the channel. That's what I was really stressing about. But I'm gonna hopefully get this video out for you guys as soon as possible. Okay, I feel like I've been talking enough. I really want to play this because I keep getting videos on my For You page of day 3 and I want to watch them so bad, but I always scroll past because I don't want spoilers. Although, sadly, I did see some. Let's just freaking get started. Okay, let's get started. Does it start from day 3 or do I need to like go through the whole game again? But I think it's only day 3. Oh my god, no, do I have to go through? Oh, am I gonna have to like skip through all of it to get to day 3? Are you kidding? Oh, that's so much effort, but that makes sense though. It does make sense because like I need my options and stuff. That's so much work. Okay, I'm gonna do that real quick and then I'll be back and we can play day 3. Okay, we're getting to day 3. We're getting to day 3. Wednesday, 10:13 a.m. There's a car outside. Hold up. Wait for it to go past. Bang! You wake up to a start and you're immediately plunged into a state of panic. Another bang. Another bang. There was the disturbing sound of a blunt force hitting the wall every now and then. Sorry for my crappy reading. I need to get back into the gist of it, okay? It's been 2 weeks. But aside from that, you quickly come to the realization that you couldn't move your fingers. Why not? Why can't I move my fingers? Please do tell me. Your hands are taped up. You can't move them anymore. Why is that? Why is that? Why? You try to struggle against the tight bindings to no avail. Another bang. Another bang. Another bang. You flinch at the sound of harsh banging coming from the hallway. You struggle to sit up, the sticky bits of the messy tape job catching on the fabric as you slide your feet off the side of the bed. There was a brief pause in the banging as the shuffle of your feet on the floor of your bedroom before a rush of footsteps approach your door. You instinctively take a step backwards, your palm helplessly at the round doorknob, unable to use your detectory to open the door. He slams the door open, bursting in with a hammer in hand and a wild look in his eyes. Please, okay, please be nice to me. Why is he look? Good morning, Nakova. You step backwards further, the backs of your knees brushing against your bed once more at the sight of the figure you had familiarised yourself with, leaving past your door frame with a hammer in hand. He glances down at the tool in his grasp, his ink-dark fingers wrapped around the handle far too comfortably for your liking. Please don't, like, bash my head in or something, oh my god. He smiled, slowly tucking the hammer behind his back, the instability in his eyes glinting unnervingly. What was he using the hammer for? Oh, yes, because we opened the door. This is what I said. We shouldn't have done that. I didn't want to do that. Okay, I didn't want to. I was happy to be ignorant. Okay, because I don't know the bloke. I don't know him. And he's probably going to kill me. So I was just about finished anyway, honey. He suddenly crowds you on the bed, leaning down with the hammer still behind his back. Come on, I'll help you downstairs. No, but you've got to appreciate how attractive he is, though. Like, you need to appreciate that. Like, yeah, he is freaky, but aren't we all a little bit freaky? Like, come on now. He was eager to take one of your bound hands in his, hastily leading you out the door of your room and downstairs. Oh, maybe he bound our hands because he noticed that we had opened the door, which I assume he was hammering shut again. And by binding our hands, we can't, like, do that again. I assume that's what that is. Carl looked happy to be the one in control of this situation. He was off, way off, so much so it was concerning. He smiled widely as he sat you down in your seat, scurrying to put the hammer down on the kitchen counter and hastily throwing on his apron before taking his place, leaned over the table. I have missed him. I've got to admit, I really have missed him. He pounds his elbows on the table, leaning in very, very close. I fuck with that. His breath is uneven, his eyes bright with a kind of frantic relief. There, see? Everything's fine now, just as it was. I've seen things on TikTok say that he's like more unhinged in this day. I'm starting to see that now, but I'm very excited to see, you know, what happens. And obviously I saw Zeke in the thingy, he's in on the Itcho page. Zeke is in this, is what I'm getting at. His voice is soft, but the softness feels stretched thin, like a thread pulled too tight. Why are my fingers taped up? That's a real good question. Things have been a bit unsafe around here, you know? Are you upset with me? He stills momentarily. For an instant, he doesn't blink, doesn't breathe, just stares. Upset? He repeats the word like it's foreign. No. He called me sweet. Oh my god, I actually need to get a grip, bro. No, sweetheart. I'm not upset. He suddenly gets serious, lowering his voice. If I was upset, you'd know. That sounds extremely ominous, bro. A chill crawls up your spine. He exhales shakily, rubbing his face with one hand like he was just as exhausted as you are. I'm not upset. I'm just tired, and I don't want to scare you anymore. He reaches out, his thumb brushing over your taped fingers. Let's just not do that again. That's fine by me, okay? As long as you don't, like, eat me, because I assume he eats people, because I saw something say that he looks like that. Like that. He looks like that because he stopped eating humans, and his human form, which we saw in the Polaroids, was because he ate humans. So I saw something that said that. I don't know if that's true, but I'm pretty sure it is true. Therefore, we know he eats humans. Therefore, he might eat me. His smile is gentle. His eyes are not. Let's have breakfast, okay? A good fresh start. He turns back to the counter, humming under his breath, that same melody from the past 2 days. You watch him move around the kitchen. He isn't cooking bacon or eggs like usual. What is he cooking then? Could it be pancakes? I like pancakes. Instead, he reaches for a box of cereal in the cabinet under the sofa. I don't like cereal, bro. I don't like cereal. And if I do eat cereal, I don't have it with milk, but I don't eat cereal because I just don't find it appetizing. Cereal? Yeah, I agree with this protagonist. Okay, cereal? Are you kidding me? Something simple. Something easy on your stomach. Why does it need to be easy on my stomach? What? He pours the cereal into a bowl, adds milk and stirs with a spoon like all casual like. Then he brings the bowl to the table. He sets it down in front of you with a bright, expectant smile. Oh my god, I noticed this thing when I was going through the days. So you know when like you feed yourself, like the food, if you like put it off to the side, it says something in the corner. It's like, when you put it into your mouth, it says good, and then when it goes off to the side, it's like, not quite done or something. And I didn't notice that the other times I played the game, and I thought that was quite a little cute thing to notice, because I didn't realise until I was just going through it to get to day 3. Cole, I can't eat this. My hands. He cuts you off with a soft laugh. I know, that's where I'm... You gotta hand it to me, bro. That's... You know what? Fair. Fair enough. I know, that's why I made something I can feed. You tense up. He's even taken the freedom to feed yourself from you. You had completely shattered his trust, now everything was under his control again. He scoots up a spoonful of cereal, holding it up with a tenderness that feels horribly out of place as he held the spoon to your mouth. Oh! Yes, bro. Open up, sweetheart. Why cereal? You never make cereal. His eyes narrowed a bit. Question time is over, honey. Oh, I'm sorry. Please don't kill me. He nudges the spoon towards your mouth again. Eat. You hesitate, then open your mouth. He beams. Good. Good job. Oh my god, fuck yeah, bro. Fuck yeah. Okay, I'm eating this up. I'm eating this up. I'm eating this up. Yes. Okay, yes. He feeds you slowly, spoonful by spoonful, watching your face with an intensity that makes your skin prickle. His eyes follow every swallow, tracing the curve of your throat as he continues to smile approvingly. See? This is nice. Just us. No running around, no secrets. I agree! I agree. I know I shouldn't agree because, you know, he's, like, very, very, very extremely controlling, but love of the game, bro. Love of the game. Cole, shh. Eat first. Talk after. He scoops another spoonful, bring it to your lips. Does it have milk in? Oh, it does have milk in. Ugh. I like milk. I do like milk, just not in cereal because it makes it go all soggy and gross. Ugh. I hate it. No thank you, no thank you. You can't tell if he's trying to comfort you or keep you quiet. Maybe a bit of both. No, definitely trying to keep me quiet. He scoops another spoonful, but his hand trembles just barely. You almost miss it. Oh my god, he's trembling around me. Oh, he's so nervous. God, he must be absolutely, my dog's barking. He must be absolutely, like, engulfed and intrigued and, like, stunned by my good looks. That's what it is. Keep eating. You open your mouth, accepting the next bite. I know this is scary. You're being very brave. He sets the bowl aside once the cereal he had poured was gone, brushing your hair with gentle fingers. You know I love you, right? I will always take care of you. Cole cleared the table with a giddy feeling about him. He sets the bowl and the spoon in the sink. Clearly he was delighted, even as he spoke. Bitch, I'm delighted, okay? Also, please don't try to undo the tape. What will happen if I undo the tape? Cole chirped, his voice suddenly airy. His eyes flicked down to your taped fingers, the adhesive stark and ugly against your skin. If I find out you've been picking at the tape or trying to wiggle your way out of my hair, we'll have to find something a bit more permanent than tape to keep those hands still. Okay, so I assume that but maybe it doesn't happen because I don't want to say it and then like spoil it for you guys. I'm not going to say it until the end of the video if it doesn't happen. He beamed, the warning delivered with the same one might use to tell a child not to touch a hot stove. It was a contrast that made the hair on your arm stand up, the genuine radiating affection in his expression paired with the implied threat of further restraint. I fuck with that. He stepped back, humming that same haunting melody again, his apron now folded neatly and tucked away. Cole's grip on your arm was firm, a constant, a reminder that your orbit now centered entirely around him. Let's get settled in the living room, honey, Cole murmured, his voice regaining that sing-song quality that always felt like it was masking a jagged edge. He steered you into the living room with a lightness in his step, his hand a constant guiding weight on your elbow. He settled you into the plush fabric of the sofa. I like that they said sofa instead of couch. It's just because I'm British though. Hold up, is couch British or am I just weird? Yes, couch is American English. Yeah, okay, I was right. Okay, I didn't want to be like saying something like completely wrong and just embarrassing myself. For a moment, he just stood there, gazing down at you with an expression of such raw, starving adoration that it felt more oppressive than the tapes on your fingers. It's far too quiet in here, don't you think? He asked, tilting his head. A home needs a heartbeat, and this room is far too breathless. Is he gonna like rip out my heart and then place it like on the table so that the room has a heartbeat? I wouldn't put it past him. Oh, he leaned in, pressing a quick dry kiss to your cheek. The lingering sensation. He likes me. Stay right here. You can look around at things here, but please don't go anywhere. I'm going to find my record player. Oh, he has a record player? Okay, I fuck with that, babe. I believed I'd left it in the hall closet downstairs during the last spring cleaning. Some music will settle your nerves, and perhaps mine as well. With a final, lingering pat on your shoulders, he retreated, his footsteps receding behind the stairs. There was a sound of a door opening and closing, and Cole's footsteps descending. You didn't know there was a basement? Oh god. Oh god. Basements are never a good sign. Without his constant presence, the living room felt less like a sanctuary and more like a well-decorated waiting room for something inevitable. You shifted your gaze, scanning the room from the safety of the sofa. The coffee table sat within arm's reach, bearing a small, precarious stack of Polaroids. They were hazardly piled, the white borders yellowing at the edges, capturing frozen slivers of a life you couldn't recall and you weren't around for. A few feet to your right, two frames rested there, though they offered no comfort. One lay face down as if the memory within had been deemed too painful to behold. Beside it sat a neat family photo. It seemed normal, save for the faces of the parents that had been meticulously torn away. Jagged white paper remains where their features should have been. The Polaroids, bitch, show me the Polaroids. That's definitely Carl. Each photo is a year apart, but they all seem to be from the same camera. Is that a bird? Is that a bird? Nice, mate. There are tears forming in my eyes, that's bloody adorable. Oh, and he's in the woods with some bugs, that's adorable as well. Okay, that is... Oh, that is... Oh, what was her name? I forgot her name. And then that's Zeke. Oh, what was her name? I feel horrible at forgetting her name now. Maybe it was like Phoebe or something. She looks like a Phoebe. Oh my god, this is so wholesome. I'm gonna cry. I love this. This is adorable. Okay, that's all the photos. I like that one. That one's so cute. I want her. Adorable. The rhythmic thumping of footsteps echoed from the depths of the house, growing louder and more certain as Cole ascended the stairs back towards the living room. He cradled a modest, vintage record player against his chest like a prized infant, a few vinyl sleeves tucked carefully under his arm. There was a slight I'm stumbling over that word, bro, to his pale cheeks, and he walked with a light rhythmic bounce in his steps that made him look almost adorably domestic. A man returning from a successful errand in his own home. Found it. Oh, did you find it? Oh, I'm so happy for you. Good job. He chirped, his voice airy and bright. He moved a space among the haunted Polaroids to set down the machine. He handled the equipment with a level of tenderness that bordered on reverence, his long, rubbery fingers delicately sliding a record from its sleeve. He didn't look at you immediately, too absorbed in the ritual of the needle meeting the groove, his expression one of serene, uncomplicated contentment. As the first notes of a slow, melancholic piano piece drifted into the room, Cole finally looked up. The music seemed to soften his posture. You know what? Fair enough. Music is great. Music is amazing. I love music. The silence of the house was gone, replaced by a soft melody that you quickly recognized to be the song he often hummed under his breath, though the music felt less like a comfort and more like a curtain being drawn over the exits. Better, isn't it? Yes, it's so much better. His voice barely whispers above the piano. The atmosphere is everything in the cova. It transforms a house into a sanctuary. He stepped closer, the distance between you closing. He didn't touch you this time, but the way he lingered just outside your personal space felt like a claim. You look so thoughtful. What's on your mind, my love? Can you tell me about those photos? I can try. He looked at the scattered Polaroids again, his eyes tracing each one like they're pieces of a puzzle only he understands. They're snapshots of different times in my life. He taps one with his knuckle. Some of these were taken before I met you. Way before. Yeah, you can tell he's like a little baby in some of them. He smiles faintly as he glances at the photo of him, Zeke and Phoebe. I was right. Oh, I'm so proud of myself. All of these are very special to me. I suppose I want to look at them again. How old are these photos? Pretty old, he says with a strange softness. Some are from when I was barely 6 years old. Some are from my high school years. He picks up one of the older ones, the ones where he looks innocent and curious with makeup smudged all over his face. This one was taken before my parents really started to drift away from me. I just found one of my father's old cameras and I was really excited. I was always different, even as a little kid. He doesn't say what changed, just that things did. Cole lets out a slow breath, grounding himself. Thank you for spending time with me. You're welcome. You're so welcome. Honestly, anytime, my little munchkin. I love spending time with you. I've missed you while I've been gone these couple of weeks, I've missed you a lot. Oh my god. Yes. Oh my god, he's gorgeous. You cannot tell me that man is not gorgeous. You can't. Because he is. He really is. You spend a few more moments together, quietly existing with each other as Cole switched out the record a few more times. He exchanged memories for a time, speaking fondly of experiences you had no memory of. Eventually, he got up to prepare lunch, like any other day. You followed after your boyfriend, hovering around the kitchen. You didn't want to bother him, but there wasn't really much else to do. Cole? Yes, my love? Cole chirped, reaching for his apron, but pausing halfway to respond. Would you mind making me something other than a sandwich? Oh, you look so cute. Is he gonna eat me? Because, I can't tell if he's excited or if he's, about to, devour my soul, it's a bit hard to read him. He leans over the table, towards where you stood. You don't like it? I don't know. I could use something different every now and then. I love your sandwiches, Cole. I just, I could do with a burger. I had a burger earlier. It was gorgeous. He shrugged. Cole's face was hard to read for a moment before he smiled widely. I'd love to. Oh, he's adorable. Cole's voice was steady over the rhythmic tapping of the knife hitting a cutting board. A lot of people have told me the silence of the house was eerie, since it was usually so empty, but I find it clarifying. The scent of toasted sourdough and melted cheese began to drift through the air. Oh, I love sourdough. It was a domestic smell, something that belonged in a cozy cottage, not in a place where the doors were padlocked and the windows were boarded up. You watched him through the doorway, his movements fluid and precise, the pink apron he wore contrasting sharply with the intensity of his focused gaze. "Lunch is almost ready," he added, his tone shifting into that warm, honeyed cadence that always made you forget, for a split second, that you were a prisoner of his affection. He plated the grilled cheese with precision, cutting the sandwich into 2 perfect triangles. Oh, it's still a fucking sandwich though. A grilled cheese, yeah, but technically you've just toasted it. You've just toasted a sandwich if you really think about it. Maybe you just really like sandwiches, you know? He set a bowl of tomato soup beside it. As you sat down at the small wooden table, the silence heaped praise felt heavier than usual. He slid the plate towards you, the golden brown crust of the sandwich glistening under the kitchen lights. "Pretty plating, eh?" You poked at the sandwich, the cheese stretching in a satisfying gooey string. "I was just thinking that you're very precise. Even with the food, everything is always so symmetrical." Cole let out a soft, humming laugh, leaning his chin on his hand as he watched you take your first bite. Am I holding it in my hands? Because obviously I've got tape in my hands. I'm doing the motion, but you can't see me. I give up. Precision is a form of love, don't you think? To take care of the smallest details is to care for the whole. You know what? That Shakespeare, hell yeah. Plus, I used to be a chef? Ooh, I love that for you. The conversation drifted, circling around the mundane. Cole was in a particularly good mood, his topics light and his voice airy. "What kind of cheese is this?" you asked between bites. It was decadent. It was salty, but not too salty. I love salt. "It's cheddar and... It's cheddar and that." Cole responded easily. "The last in my fridge, actually. I don't typically buy cheese that much anymore." "Yeah, okay. That's what I said." He leaned into the playful banter that almost masked all the things tucked away. It was easy to lose yourself in the warmth of the room, the feeling of being cherished by someone who noticed every minor detail about you. However, as the meal wound down, the air shifted. Cole didn't move to clear the plates. Instead, he leaned in, his eyes scanning your face with an intensity that almost felt less like affection and more like an yeah. He was searching for something, a flicker of recognition, a sign of a return of memory, or perhaps just a sign that you were still under his spell. He smiled warmly and cleared the table. "You want some time to yourself, now's the time, my love." You nodded, your gaze trailing to the corner Cole had disappeared past to get his record player. "You were curious about that basement?" Cole called out over his shoulder before you could go. "Oh, would you like something different for dinner as well?" "Yeah, that sounds really nice." He hummed out an acknowledgement, finalizing your conversation. You glanced back at Cole, who was humming softly to himself as he washed the plate and bowl. You drifted further into the hallway, past the living room and the stairs back up, your fingertips trailing along the bland wallpaper. That was when you saw it, a narrow door tucked behind a shadowed corner. Unlike the other doors, it wasn't boarded up, or even locked up. It was simply closed, with a handle that felt ice cold against your palm. You pressed your ear to the wood. There was no sound, but there was draught. A thin, sharp current of air that smelled of damp concrete and something rottenly metallic, like old rusting pennies. I wonder what else smells metallic. It was the only place in the house that didn't smell of Cole's pervasive warmth. Oh my god, that looks spooky. I fuck with it. The door pulled open easily and without noise. You flickered on the light switch next to the door, revealing a steep set of wooden stairs that plunged downwards into a yawning void of darkness. Your heart drumming a fast and frantic rhythm against your ribs. After another moment of doubt, you flicked the lights off and slowly closed it. What? No, we gotta go down there, we gotta see. Oh, hell no. No, I wanna see what's in there. You were curious, but not that curious. You know what? Fair enough, mate. Nah, that's not funny. 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 Did I mention that that's not funny? You turn around to head back into the living room. You jump a little out of your skin at the sight of Cole leering down the hallway with his record player tucked neatly under his arm. His expression was scared, but also relieved. A moment of silence passed between you two. "There's nothing down there?" Cole said monotonously. "I believe you, Cole. Just junk that cluttered space up here and I didn't have room for." "I understand, Cole." Knowing him, he was probably lying, but at the same time you weren't too sure if you wanted to find out the truth. "You don't have to be so You don't have to be so careful around me, honey. Yes, I do, bro. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Carl murmured, his voice regaining terms of tenderness as he stepped closer. You can be curious. You can even be suspicious. I've always loved that spark in you, the way you refuse to just accept the world as it's handed to you. He reached out to brush the strands of hair from your forehead. For a moment, the tension from the basement door dissipated, replaced by that suffocatingly sweet domesticity? I don't know, how do you pronounce that? He shrugged towards the living room, signaling that that's where you should be, away from here. I'm sorry, please don't kill me. He stepped past you towards the basement, opened the door and heading shutting behind him with a telltale click, informing you that he had locked it behind him. The afternoon stretched into a slow, syrupy blur. Cole spent hours in that state of high-function devotion. He didn't hover, but he was always there. A shadow in the periphery, a soft footfall in the hallway, a sudden warm hand on your shoulder as you read. Every time you caught his eye, he beamed with a quiet perpetuary pride, as if your mere presence in the room was a trophy he had won, and kept dustless. However, as the light began to fail, shifting from a pale gold to a bruised purple outside, the cracks of the shutters, the atmosphere shifted. Cole retreated to the kitchen, the rhythmic thumping of his prep work echoing through the house. The evening had passed by quickly, boringly so, and before you knew it, you were in bed. What? Is that it? Oh, I skipped it. Wait, hold up. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Wait, where's Zeke? Because I thought Zeke was here. Oh, damn it. Maybe I clicked like a wrong option. We'll see. We need to see what happens. I'm rushing ahead of things. The silence of the house usually felt like a blanket, but tonight it felt like a veil. You woke up to a rhythmic, gritty scraping that echoed up through the floorboards. You lay still for a long time, staring at the ceiling, listening to the cadence of the noise. That word keeps coming up. I apologise for my crappy pronunciation. I really do. I'm so bad at reading aloud. Scrape, swirl, crush. Scrape, swirl, crush. It wasn't until you heard a soft knocking at the front door that did you finally snap to alertness. Oh, that's probably Zeke. A cold curiosity, sharper than your fear, nudged you out of bed. You crept out of your bedroom door, your feet finding the cold spots on the hardwood to avoid the creaks. Smart girl, smart girl. From the top of the stairs you saw his tendrils moving to open the door. You slowly peered down the stairs, careful to not be seen. I see how it is. Drugging me. I'm saying that like we didn't already knew that. We already knew he was doing that, but still, catch him in the act, bro. Carl was sitting at the table, though the chair you usually sat at was repositioned. He was using a mortar and a pestle. I absolutely pronounced those wrong. I do apologise, but I assume it's the heavy stone bowl grinding something white and brittle into a fine, chalky powder. He watched the way his shoulders shifted, the tension in his frame suggesting a level of concentration that bordered on desperation. When the front door unlocked, another person opened the front door from the other side. Oh my god, it is Zeke. Okay, I know it. Oh, he's bringing, what's that? Eggs and bread. Very nice. Where were you? You're late. Your eyes widened at the sight of an familiarly unfamiliar man entering the house. A tall, dark-skinned man with long, blonde wigs holding a paper bag of what looked to be groceries. I'm sorry. His voice was lower than Carl's, but with a consistent, exhausted tone. Got held up at work. He sat the bag down on the table next to Carl, beginning to quietly unload the items. This week has been so difficult, Carl murmured, going back to quietly crushing the pills. Nicole was upset with me. I keep messing up. Oh, does he care? The man moves around the kitchen with as much precision, as Cole does, tucking a loaf of bread in a cabinet, placing a fresh carton of eggs in the refrigerator. Cole continues to catch up in detail of the events of the past few days, expressing his feelings and thoughts on things he had kept secret in front of you. But what really caught your eye was the nearly filled bottles of pills he slowly pulled out at the end. The same one Cole was crushing. What do those pills do? Why was Cole feeding you them? Bitch, obviously they're to get rid of your memory or something. Gosh, don't be dumb. I just think that everything is going to end really soon. Gulp. Big gulp. 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 Cole murmured, indicating the last of his thoughts. Doesn't this feel like a rise in action until the big thing happens that decides how the rest of our lives play out? The other man just nods his head. It was clear he wasn't a very talkative guy. What you hadn't seen coming was the small white handkerchief he pulled out of his pocket, along with a small bottle of something clear. He poured some into the cloth. What? Oh my god, is he gonna put it over the car's mouth? Because I people do that, they put something in a cloth and they put it over your mouth and it makes you pass out. Holy smokes. Out onto the cloth, slowly walking behind Carl's line of sight as he continued to murmur quietly to himself. I'm sure you're right. Yes, oh my god, I was right! I love being right, it makes me feel so happy. He hummed before pressing the cloth to Carl's mouth and nose. He squeaked with surprise, struggling for just a moment before immediately slumping forward. No, that's my baby! How dare you! How dare you! His floating strands of hair slowly began to droop and fall, though some stayed connected to the ceiling. Phew. The other man sighed quietly, tossing the cloth into the sink and looking down at his passed-out friend. What really shocked you was that he began speaking again. When he began speaking again. My apologies. I didn't mean for you to see that. I was planning on waking you up myself, but I guess this was fine too. He turned around to look directly at where you were sitting up on the stairs. Come on, let's talk. Your heart hammered against your ribs. For a long moment you didn't move, your grip tightening on the banister as you stared at the man who had just completely knocked out the guy keeping you in his house. The shock of seeing Carl, usually so poised, slumped over the table like a broken doll, was jarring. But it was the man's gaze that anchored you. His eyes weren't harsh like Carl's, but tired, weighted with awareness that felt relatable. Slowly, you descended the stairs. As you entered the kitchen, the sharp chemical scent of the chloroform still lingered in the air. You stopped a few feet away from him, your eyes darting from the unconscious form of Carl to the man who had just played the role in the Infiltrator. I'm Zeke. Yeah, bitch, we know. The fuck? He said, his voice a calm rumble that didn't match his actions. He didn't move towards you, and he didn't look like he really wanted to. Cole's old friend. He gestured vaguely to the passed-out figure of Cole. Sorry about the dramatics. He doesn't like hearing things he doesn't want to, and he's real stubborn. You looked over at the knocked-out mortar and pestle. I apologise for my bad pronunciations. The white powder still clinging to the stone, and then back to the pill bottles. The realisation that your daily recovery was probably a curated chemical haze that hit you like an epiphany. You turned back to Zeke, who was already nodding slowly, like you knew you had put the pieces together. Bitch, we put that together on day one. Why is this protag so slow? Actually, no, it makes sense because, she's losing her memories and stuff. But still! I'm not actually sick, am I? He slowly shook his head no. He's feeding me pills to have me forget things, isn't he? He slowly nods again, his lips pressed into a tight line. He glanced at Cole, his expression softening to something like pity as he rubbed the back of his neck. God, whatever. He thinks he's saving you in his own twisted way, but the truth is, he's just terrified of you running away from him when you remember everything he's done. What has he done? Oh my god, what has he done? Tell me, I'm curious. Which, you absolutely should. He's as irredeemable as irredeemable gets. Is he though? Tell me more, I should decide that for myself. But that's why I'm here, Nikova. He blinked. Huh? I'm getting you out of here. No, I don't want... Sorry. No, totally. Please get me out of my captor's house. But we can't do it now. There's still some things I have to do. You whip around to Carl, still very much unconscious at his kitchen table, and back to Zeke with a dumbfounded look. Why not now? It's a long story. Yeah, bitch, why not now? So dumb. Zeke sighed, walking towards the table once more. But I suppose we do have all night. Sorry, my bad, I read that wrong, confused me. He stares at Cole's body with an unsure expression. He slowly dug his hand into Cole's pocket, pulling out a key. He hesitated for a moment before leaning down to hoist up his friend under his arm like an animal. He looked stupid. They both did. He stared blankly at you with no words. You didn't know what exactly it was he was waiting for. You squint your eyes a little, making a face. He shifts Cole around, grunting softly as he slings him over his shoulder like a sack of potatoes instead. Wow. He stares at you again, as if silently asking if this was better. You make an I know what that word means, but I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm sorry, I'm not good at pronunciations. Shrugging your shoulders. He shrugged his own, turning towards the stairs with Cole slung heavily on his arm. Zeke navigated the stairs with a rhythmic, heavy thud after flicking on the lights, Cole's limp body bouncing slightly against the shoulder with every step. It was a surreal image, the domestic terror of the house reduced to a pile of luggage being hauled upstairs. Yeah, sorry, I clicked too fast. You follow close behind, your curiosity overriding the lingering terror, your footsteps light and hurried as you try to keep pace with the taller man. As Zeke fumbled the key and padlock with one hand, you tried to slip past Zeke to see inside his room, but a surprisingly firm arm suddenly barred your path. Bitch, how dare you? It's my boyfriend, let me see his room. It wasn't shove, just a firm, steady boundary that halted your momentum. Wait here, please. Zeke's voice was barely a vibration. You watched from the hallway, listening to the muffled sounds of coal being dropped onto a mattress. A moment later, the door clicked shut, and Zeke reappeared, leaning his back against the wall and crossing his arms over his chest. Okay, yeah. The dim hallway light cast deep shadows across his face, making him look like someone who had just spent far too many nights dealing with things that shouldn't exist. Alright, Zeke said, his gaze scanning your face. You've got 1,000 questions, I can see them spinning in your head. Start with the big one. Why are you in my house? Yeah. Zeke let out a dry, huffing sound that might have been a laugh if it wasn't so devoid of humour. Technically, this isn't your house. Bitch, shut up, he corrected softly. It's just a place where Cole decided you'd be safest. Which, as you've probably noticed by the medication and the locked doors, is his way of saying where I can keep you under my thumb. You said you were friends. If you're friends, why are you knocking him out and sneaking around? Zeke's gaze drifted towards the closed bedroom door. We were, a long time ago, before Cole decided that love meant this. He doesn't see people as people anymore. He didn't just want your affection, Nikova. He wanted your autonomy. He wanted to be the only thing you remember, the only person you need. Those pills don't just cause memory loss. They prune the parts of your mind that make you want to leave. Maybe that's why, when we were going to the basement and then Cole came out, we were, comforted, by him. Not so comforted, but more settled, I suppose, is the way of putting it. I can't really remember the exact wording used, but you know what I mean. The revelation made your heart drop to your feet. Every kind gesture Cole had made over the last few days, the careful meals, the soft words, the obsessive attention, suddenly felt like an elaborate performance. You looked at Zeke, really looking at him, noticing the way he didn't seem surprised by any of this. What, so is this coming from some sort of saviour complex? Saviour complex? You must be joking. It's a place of concern, Bird. Where's Phoebe? Cole mentioned Phoebe. You asked, your voice trembling. The photo. Cole said you were all friends once. Where is she? If you were here to get me out, is she already gone? Gaze dropped to the floor. The exhaustion in his eyes looked like grief. He didn't answer immediately, the silence stretching until a distant hum through the refrigerator downstairs sounded like a scream. Oh my god. Phoebe was the first to realise that Cole's devotion was actually hunger. She's dead, was all he said. Oh, so Cole was obsessed with Phoebe, and then I see maybe this happened with Phoebe, and then he, killed Phoebe? What did the pills do? But we already know what the pills do! Zeke let out a long, slow breath. They're a sort of eraser. They target the short-term memories and the emotional triggers that keep you grounded in who you are. Why would he do that? Why would he want me to forget everything? Zeke's expression remained the same. Because, oh my god, is this protagonist stupid? Oh my god. Because Cole is a rotting monster. Yikes. Oh, I wasn't being mean. He's literally a monster, and he's literally rotting. He paused, then did something unexpected. He wiggled his hair. Oh, is he like one of those two then? They moved independent of each other, quivering like snakes for only an instant before they stopped. Creatures like him, creatures like me, we can't be exposed to humans for too long in that state without things starting to degrade. You start to go insane. You start to lose your grip on reality, your identity and your will, as you were doing. The only way he thought he could prevent the crazy was to make you forget. If you didn't remember the things that were triggering the breakdown, he thought you could stay here with him. He looked at you, his eyes weighted with a profound sadness. He wanted to help you, Nikova. He just went crazy along the way. Who are you, really? Zeke shifted his weight, his shoulders leaning harder into the wall as if the physical pressure helped him hold back the words. I'm someone who waited too late to finally do something. He looked at you with a strange sort of warmth. Look, I'm gonna be honest. I know you more than Cole thinks you do. I've been weaning you off the medication by emptying half the bottles, then filling them back up with duds. That explains why we're getting our memory back. The air in the hallway seemed to thin. Every time you had felt a flicker of clarity, every time the fog had lifted just enough to make you question the locks on the doors, that had been him. I know you're probably really confused, and I'm sorry. I'm doing this for you, and for Cole. This obsession he has with you is ruining you both. Eventually you'd overdose on the pills, and he'd die of starvation. He can't sustain himself and energy of the dying mind for long. I care about you both too much to let that happen, okay? You nodded after a moment, slowly digesting the words. Any day now, Cole won't be able to keep up that form for much longer. It's been slipping out of control more and more every day. And if he doesn't eat, Zeke trailed off, his voice dropping to a whisper. Bottom line is, I don't want that to happen. I don't know how you feel about any of this, but I'm being selfish here. I can't help myself. You just need to trust me. Zeke gently patted your head. It was a sort of awkward gesture, but it felt nice. It wasn't a touch that demanded anything from you. You should head to sleep. I'll be gone when you wake up, but I won't be far. He glanced at the storage room. It would be better if you had your phone, though. I guess I'll have to deal with that too, he murmured softly to himself. Guess I'm busy tonight. He watched as you returned to your room before heading downstairs to discard of the pills. The hallway light was turned off, and the house was quiet once again. That's really upsetting. I'm upset now. What? Thank you for playing. Thank you. No. Thank you. Right, okay, look, so there's scenes, because I'm doing my research, and sometimes, look, how do I get that? And that looks, I haven't gotten that. How do I get that? Please, someone tell me how I get that. Please, I'm asking nicely. How do I get that? Okay, so my plan is I'm going to go through it and I'm going to pick different options and see if we can get that, and it's going to take me fucking ages. But I'm dedicated to my craft. Hold up. I'm dedicated. What am I most curious about? Should we do? What was this? Oh wow. It was hard to understand what exactly you were looking at. Was it a wedding? You glanced at the family photo where two people had their faces torn off as well. The photo in your hands was clearly much more aged. Maybe it was his parents' wedding photo? But why did he have it? He hesitates before standing to lower the picture frame once more. Who are the people in the photo? My mother and father, he murmured softly. It was from their wedding day. My grandfather took the photo and framed it for them. Why was it lowered? He looked away briefly, something unreadable yet pain flashing in his void-like eyes. It kind of hurts to look at that, he murmured under his breath. My entire childhood, this photo was everything I imagined love to be. He looked sadly nostalgic, his fingers tracing the edge of the lowered frame. Sometimes I dream about what our wedding would look like. He turns back to you, smiling, and every single time I imagine it's just like this picture. It was just a mistake for me to have it. Tell me more. He smiled sheepishly over his shoulder. It's nothing special, really. I'm sure I'd bore you. I still want to know. To be honest, I took it from the house when He trailed off briefly. When I left. Why steal it if it belongs to your parents? He sighed, pausing for a moment as if gathering his thoughts. We, never had a strong relationship with each other. That's including my parents' marriage. When I was younger, I begged my mother to tell me the story of her and my father's wedding day all the time. I loved love. It was a beautiful thing. He turned slowly, returning to your space. But it was all so delicate, easily shattered. That's why my mother's happiness didn't last for too long. Khols suddenly had a faraway look in his eyes. I guess that's kind of the reasons why I hold on to the love I have so desperately. His attention was suddenly redirected to you. I'm doing this the only way I know how, after all. My life was filled with people leaving me. Khols' gaze was heavy once again. But you won't leave, will you? Of course not, baby, I won't leave you. The soft music of the record was like audible representation of Khols' emotions. Of course not. Khols' eyes shimmered softly with something hopelessly soft. Of course. Is this it? This is so it. Oh my god, Cat, we did it! Oh my god! He shakily grasped your sleeve, slowly undoing the tape and bringing your hand to his face. I did it. He nuzzles gently into your palm. You're... Ooh, shooty. Captivated. Mildly suggestive seemingly. Well, practically melted to the touch, inhaling the scent of your skin deeply, reverently, worshipfully. Of course, he whispered breathlessly again. My perfect, wonderful Nikova. He pressed a soft, tentative kiss to the tip of your ring finger. His eyes met yours as if searching for... His eyes met yours as if searching for a sign of resistance, even as he gently took the tip of your finger between his lips. When no rejection came, the inside of his mouth was warm. It was incredibly warm everywhere. His hands, his skin, even his mouth. You could feel his teeth gently graze the base of your finger, right where a ring would sit. A hand slowly traced down the back of yours, his other keeping your wrist steady. His eyes were foggy now, as if there was a rule of restraint crumbling before you. Cole had fully withdrawn now. Your finger, now warm with his tongue, was cooling against the air due to the saliva. His front teeth scraped along the top of your ring finger before coming to rest on the base of your nail bed. You tried to pull away now, but his grip was firmer than you expected. Cole? You murmured softly, your other, still taped hand on his shoulder now, trying to ease him off, but it was of no use. His eyes looked wild. It was a terrifyingly switch of demeanour. His teeth began pressing down on your nail. Oh no. You tried again, trying to tug yourself away. Cole, please, that's enough. Cole completely tore your nail off your nail bed. His face was— oh my god, it's shaking too much, I can't read it properly. Slow down. His face was shadowed by his hair as he pressed forward, using his height to push you down, his knee pressing down on your stomach. Licking his lips of your blood, he went to rip the nails off all your fingers. His other hand gripped tightly at your other wrist, keeping you from resisting. That's the word, resisting. Sorry, I said that restraint or something. I was like confused. Sometime between him mangling your fingertips and your screams of agony, you lose consciousness, going numb. You'd never been so glad to stop feeling in your entire life. Wednesday, question. You could feel a slight pressure on your hands, a slight rhythmic tightening around the tips of your fingers. You tried to flex your hand, but the movement felt distant, as if your nerves were muffled by a thick layer of wool. As your eyes clicked open, the ceiling of the bedroom drifted into focus, the familiar view from your bed offering a deceptive sense of security. Cole was hovering over you. He was leaning in close, his movement slow and deliberate as he wound a fresh strip of white linen around your fingertips. Every so often, his gaze would flicker up to yours, his eyes wide and brimming with a desperate, watery kind of sorrow. Oh my god, is he crying? He looked less like a man and more like a child who had broken a precious toy and was terrified it couldn't be glued back together. As you shifted, a phantom sensation sparked in your fingertips, not a sharp pain, but a dull, pulsing void. You looked down at your hands. They were cocooned in neat bandages, but the memory of the morning began to bleed back through the fog. You remembered the simple conversations, the weight of his presence, then the sudden sharp intensity of his focus shifting to your hands. There had been a hunger in his eyes then, a strange, starving need. He had torn them away like an animal, a slow consumption of keratin and skin that was less about getting fed and more about merging together, swallowing the pieces of you as if incorporating your very essence into his own body. You're awake. Cole whispered, his voice cracking. He didn't pull your hand away. Instead, he gently pressed a kiss to the back of your bandaged wrist. Oh, my sweet, precious love, please forgive me. Cole's voice was a jagged shard of glass, barely holding together. He didn't look at you with the wildness from before. Instead, he looked as though he were the one pinned down, trembling under the weight of your silence. He shifted closer, his eyes searching yours for a flicker of the warmth that had been there before the hunger took him. You tried to pull your hand away. The movement was sluggish, the numbness acting like a heavy cast. The memory of the sudden, sharp snap of your nails being peeled away, and the way he had looked at you as he swallowed the pieces surged back. A wave of nausea rolled through your stomach, and you instinctively recoiled, pressing your back against the headboard. Don't touch me, Cole. No! Your voice sounded foreign and dry. I'm very angry. You started at first, trying to create distance, but you continued on. I'm tired. So damn tired. Of everything. The memories, the confusion, the lying. Is this hell? Who in the world was I before in life to deserve all this? Cole's shoulders hunching forward, his expression twisting into a mask of absolute devastation. He didn't get any closer, but he froze, his hands hovering in the air between you, palms open and trembling. I know it's hard for you. It's hard for me too. I know it's unfair. He looked desperate, his pupils pinprick, staring at you with a longing for understanding, connection. There was a redness clustering at the bottom of his eye. Was that blood? Was he crying blood? Was he crying blood? I already said it. I didn't mean to hurt you. I don't know why it happened to me. I couldn't control it. I promise I couldn't. Please forgive me. He kept tugging at your sleeve as if willing your forgiveness into truth. My heart, my love, my life, please forgive me. I'm sorry. It won't happen again, I promise. Just stop looking at me like that. I'm scared. Hold on. I'm scared. Chat. What to do with yourself? What kind of twisted part of you want to see and understand him so badly? Was it how pathetic he is? How worthless he made himself look just for your sake? Just what was it that either of you gained from any of this? Why does Cole insist on keeping you here so firmly? Alright. After a few moments of silence, Cole finally retreated without a word, gently shutting the bedroom door behind him with an empty look in his eyes. For several minutes you didn't move. You stayed pressed against the headboard, staring at the door, listening to the muffled sounds of the house settling around you. The pulsing heat in your fingertips intensified, the numbness receding to reveal a sharp sting in reality. You look down at the white linen bandages, now feeling less like medical care, more like a set of shackles. The room felt different now. The soft light and the curated comfort of the bed felt like a strange set, the fragile facade designed to distract you from the fact you would be imprisoned in a house built of secrets and dishonesty. You knew Cole was still out there, likely hovering just beyond the door or pacing the hallway, his grief and obsession swelling like a current beneath the floorboards. He wanted you to be a version of yourself that he could understand, a version that forgave him because you had no other choice. You lay back down, letting the ache of the week ease you back to sleep. Okay, that's that then, I suppose. Okay. Well, I suppose that is it for this video. I got the scene I wanted of him eating my fingertips, my nails, that. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video as much as I did. I've been recording for quite a while now. I started when it was light outside. It is now dark. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye bye!